What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. After Sound here, bringing you some Stepn content today. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning. So come by and say hello. Okay, so this was tweeted out by the Chief Marketing Officer, the CMO for Stepn itself, and there is a DEX, a decentralized exchange, coming to Stepn. So this was added to the white paper, and this was tweeted out actually a couple days ago on June 10th. I'm just getting around to reading about it and understanding a little bit more, although there isn't much in the white paper, but we will cover it and I'll give you my thoughts briefly. But before we do that, so Shithi here is saying a big step towards creating additional revenue sources. A majority of this is going towards giving back to the Stepn ecosystem, and I would say that is legitimate. So let's go over here. Sorry, I know it's super bright, but I don't think they have a dark mode on the white paper, unfortunately. Otherwise, it'd be called a black paper, and I don't know how I feel about saying that out loud, but we did it already. Okay, so decentralized exchange. So what's going on here? Stepn has built its own multi-chain decentralized exchange. They're calling it the DOOR, D-O-O-A-R, if I'm saying that right. So there's going to be 3 stages to this. The first stage is going to be an in-app swap without an independent front end. The swap only serves users within the Stepn app, and it's only for Solana. And I believe that's what's active already, or at least they have a swap feature in there. I'm assuming that's what this is. But stage 2 is where the decentralized exchange part comes in. So you're going to have a DEX with a front end, and anybody can provide liquidity to the following pools and the following pairs, I should say, GST and USDC, and then GMT and USDC. The third stage is that the front end is going to be anyone can create liquidity pools for other tokens, and this will be cross-chain. Now, this is where it gets interesting because keep in mind, Stepn is diving into different realms, the first of which was the BSC, or the Binance Smart Chain, or Binance Smart Chain, I should say. And let me correct myself. The first technical realm they did was Solana, but the next realm they created was Binance Smart Chain, and I believe there's a third one. I don't know if it's Ethereum or not. I'll try to find out for you, but we know that there are more realms coming to this ecosystem, and so being able to create some kind of liquidity pool that is decentralized and can offer cross-chain potentially functionality, right? So, I mean, this is what this is saying here, right? Multi-chain. So that to me is going to be really interesting in how they can create this. Now, the swap for the Stepn exchange will have a 1% trading fee, and out of this 1% trading fee, 0.3% or 30% of that fee, we'll say, will be rewarded to the liquidity provider. So if you put some in, that will be paid out to you at a rate of 0.3%. I'm sorry, 30% of the fee. 60% of the fee will be held at a separate address to give back to the Stepn ecosystem. So the potential use cases for this are a GMT buyback and burn, NFT sneaker buyback and burn, or support ecosystem building events, or D, finally, community giveaways and raffles. And then the last 10% of this 1% fee will be used for future development work. That's a little vague to me, so I don't really know what that would mean. I wonder if that's a fee that ends up going to the team, if they're going to receive essentially 10% of all the fees that come through the door, literally through the door, or the DOOR. So the thing is, I really like this. Let me take a step back for a second. What I think is really cool about Stepn and kind of the move to earn space, and I know that Stepn isn't necessarily the first, they're not necessarily the first move to earn, but they are definitely one of the biggest, if not the biggest, move to earn platforms. But one of the things that's great about them is, due to the fact of their size, their popularity, there are a lot of non-crypto people who are interested or have become interested in the NFT and crypto space. So it's kind of creating a bit of an on-ramp here just for NFTs. Now, all of a sudden, they're going to add in a decentralized exchange, and people are going to have exposure to this. So I really love that, because the idea here, and kind of moving into my next point, is now maybe, somebody's just like, hey, what is the APR? What is the return on providing liquidity for GST and USDC, for example? Oh, interesting, it's X%. Well, maybe I want to save some GST for the future, but I don't like it just sitting there, and I don't know what to do with it, and I don't necessarily want to just convert it to USD, or USDC. So maybe I throw it into a liquidity pool. So some of the unlimited amounts of GST potentially could find a home and be locked up as liquidity, which could be interesting. Again, the fact that I still don't like GST's tokenomics as something that is unlimited and does not have as many use cases or burn cases as I would hope there would be needed in the long run. But this is not really a use case. But I like the idea of people, or the ability to be able to provide liquidity and kind of get involved in hopefully a non a non like severe or high risk way, you know what I mean? For people, for those that are new to decentralized or DeFi, I should just say, by being able to provide some liquidity for GST and GMT along with USDC. Now, the third stage of this is where this gets interesting, and I think could potentially bring in a lot of eyeballs, a lot of exposure, and a lot of money. Who knows? But if they're able to create something that is multi-chain or cross-chain, and the fact that they are going to be stepping into all of these different realms for Solana, next Binance, and whatever else ends up coming up in the future, with all these different tokens, with all these different chains, if they can create this kind of decentralized platform, decentralized exchange platform that can kind of bridge together everything, so that you go on the app and it's like, you know what? I want to get something on Binance Smart Chain. I don't want to have to send funds out to a centralized place and then bridge and then do all this, blah, blah, blah. If I can do that all in app, right? To get money from the Solana network to the Binance network or the Ethereum or whatever ends up being in the future, that could be pretty big. And I think that is worth at least getting excited about. Again, it's the idea is cool, but the implementation and execution is going to be another thing. The last part, and we'll go over these fees again. I like the fact that some of it is being rewarded, at least a third of it, or almost a third of it, I should say, is being rewarded to the liquidity providers. That should be incentive for people to put something in there. And with the amount of folks that are coming in and probably taking that GST or GMT and potentially trying to cash out or cash in, whatever the case is in the future, with people doing that, there should be a good amount of volume. So that being paid to liquidity providers is great. The 60% of the 1% fee, that's going to be held at a separate address. Now, this is not as vague as the third option, which again is just used for future development work, but they do offer some ideas. So potential use cases include GMT buyback and burn, NFT sneakers and burn, NFT sneakers buyback and burn, support ecosystem building events, and then community giveaways and raffles. Now, the two ones to burn makes sense to me. What I don't understand is why GST was not included here. I almost feel like GST would be the more important one to potentially burn if there's not many use cases. Now, GMT, on the other hand, if you remember, is hard capped, I believe, at 2 billion. I wonder if we can just check out GMT here. Nope, not this one. GMT, I believe, at 2 billion total tokens. Yep. And so let's go back here to the decentralized exchange. So sure, burning GMT would be great, but it is hard capped, so I'm not as worried about burning these tokens, especially if the team wants them to have utility in the future. But NFT sneakers buyback and burn could be interesting. How they would make those decisions on which ones to buy back, which ones to burn, I don't know. But again, they're obviously trying to think this through and not have the market be flooded. This one is cool, though. Support ecosystem building events. I know that there are some live events that are happening right now around the world because the community is quite large. So it going to support some of these real world events makes Stepn not just this kind of online crypto virtual game. It could really take Stepn, Stepn is already doing these things, right? Already having these IRL events, but to be able to have a way to consistently fund them and use them as marketing platforms to get more people excited to do things outside and within the real world, like I said, I think would be great. And then, community giveaway and raffles, that's always fun. Who wouldn't like that? So I like the fact that the majority of this is going back into building out and supporting the ecosystem and the economy and the community. So that's great to me. And then the 1% for future development work sounds like it's just potentially going to the team at this point in time. But that makes sense. I would expect them to get something out of this. They built it, and I'm sure they want to have some kind of residual kickback to help support and continue building out platforms and continue supporting this from a technical standpoint. So I'm actually really excited about this. I want to see how this can work. Again, there are a slew of decentralized exchanges out there, and they're always popping up one after the next. But if Stepn is able to create one within the app itself and within the platform itself, I think that could go a long way, especially for those that are here just for the running. They're here just for the Stepn, right? Not for the crypto. They came because of the move to earn, but now they can kind of get their feet wet with a little DeFi, a little decentralized finance, and to me, there's a lot of value in that in terms of exposing people to it and really helping them to understand what the value of crypto, decentralized finance, NFTs, all this stuff is. So it's a nice kind of just cap on everything. I'm really excited about it. I would love to hear your thoughts though on how you think this is. Do we have too many decentralized exchanges? Is this a waste of the team's time? I don't think so, but maybe some people out there do, and I would love to hear your perspective on it. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I will catch you all in the next video, and I will see you around the game. Take care and keep stepping.